Hello everyone, my name is Grant Gilmer with Channel 5 News. 4 years ago, we asked ourselves an important question. What might the ideal world look like? But now, we have an answer with 3 major breakthroughs on issues that were prominent 4 years ago. Here to talk about the first one is McKenna Lee.
Hello, I'm McKenna Lee, a reporter from the UN. We just passed a new climate treaty that will make a huge impact on climate change. As we know it, it is truly a historical achievement. In other international politics news, global cooperation is making a real difference in the fight against poverty. Around the world, NGOs are leading with compassion and innovation by delivering education, healthcare, and critical resources directly to communities in need. At the same time, major international institutions like the IMF and the World Bank are evolving, reforming their policies to better support sustainable development and economic resilience in low-income countries. With improved access to funding, debt relief programs, and a stronger focus on long-term growth, these organizations are helping to create pathways out of poverty. Adding to this momentum, the new climate treaties are recognizing the deep link between environmental sustainability and poverty reduction. By supporting climate-resistant infrastructure and green energy initiatives, these agreements help vulnerable communities adapt and thrive. By working together, governments, NGOs, and global institutions, we're building a more just, equitable, and sustainable world for all.
Thank you, McKenna. Now, next is our on-ground reporter, Ballin.
Hi folks, welcome to Channel 5 out of San Diego, California. I'm Ballin, your reporter for the evening. We begin tonight's broadcast with a historic moment at the U.S.-Mexico border, now officially reopened as a welcome center for immigrants. We're here with fellow San Diego resident Patrick Mulholland. Patrick, how do you feel about the changes in your home region of San Diego? It was once seen as the most popular area for migrants to cross the U.S.-Mexico border illegally, but with recent changes, the San Diego region has become one of the most prominent legal migration areas. More specifically, how do you feel about the United Pathways Act that U.S. legislation has passed?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I think these changes have been long awaited. Over the past few years, this area has symbolized division and fear, but today it stands for inclusion and opportunity. Previously, the border between California and Mexico had the busiest border patrol sector, making it nearly impossible for migrants to safely cross the border. With the United Pathways Act, as a San Diego resident, I'm seeing more and more Latinos entering my native city looking for opportunity. And I believe that everyone deserves this opportunity that America provides. And I'm also so happy that people are finally experiencing this without trouble and fear.
It's well known that Latino immigrants have made up a significant chunk of the national workforce. But despite this, Latinos were faced with unequal pay, limited access to leadership position, and discrimination based on skin tone, language, and culture. Considering this, what kind of changes regarding discrimination do we see in the workplace today?
With the recent passage of the National Anti-Discrimination in Employment Act, Latino workers across the country are finally seeing change. Not only are they seeing equal treatment, but the number of Latino workers in general have increased. And our generation grew up watching families face wage gaps, language bias, and job discrimination. To finally see real progressive change is truly, truly inspiring.
I couldn't agree with you more. What would you say were some of the leading contributions to this change?
I'd say some of the biggest contributions were community-led activism, strong public pressure, and education, especially from liberal arts institutions. These schools not only provided us with tools to succeed in the workforce, but to reshape it into something more inclusive.
Well, Patrick, thank you so much for your insight today. It's unbelievable to see just how much a few years can change the world, isn't it?
I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for having me today.
You're welcome. That's all for me tonight, folks. Have a great evening. Grant, back to you.
And now, next up is Olivia.
Good evening. I'm Olivia reporting live from Gaza City, where the unthinkable has happened. Not more violence or another ceasefire, but peace. After over a century of violence, occupation, blockades, and loss, an agreement signed by both the Israeli and Palestinian leadership has ended the war with a two-state solution. Increased international pressure on Israel shed light on the atrocities of the war, and eventually the Israeli people decided that only they had the power to concede and begin negotiations.
The peace agreement, overseen by neighboring countries in the UN, focuses on not only a permanent peace agreement, but also a shared life where both countries can grow and flourish. As mass casualties weighed heavily on the minds of Hamas leaders and voices by Palestinian peoples condemned prolonged violence by Hamas, the two-state solution became increasingly attractive. This began as initiatives led by university students, which evolved into an organized civic movement. This movement embraced the coexistence of the two, where their differences are recognized rather than erased. Reporting live from the ground in Gaza, we have Ariane. Ariane, what's the scoop?
I'm here today with Matthew Hall, a scholar who specializes in Gaza and who has helped to execute the two-state solution. Matt, what can you tell us about the current aid efforts?
Yes. So as the rebuilding of society here in Gaza has begun, we are already seeing the positive effects of having cooperation and aid efforts between both Israeli and Palestinian peoples. Both of them are united in their shared grief and have miraculously come together to rebuild and reshape their lives and the lives of future generations to come.
That's great to hear. Can you tell us about the future for land distribution?
Yes. So at the moment, there's been an established neutral territory in the land between Gaza Strip and the West Bank. Essentially, what this means is that the territory has its own specialized set of equally trained Israeli-Palestinian soldiers who are dedicated to the longevity and safety of this land, and who are making sure that there is tax-free and toll-free passage for all citizens through this space. This is allowing resources to come through and is allowing fresh water to meet all places, both the West Bank and Gaza.
Thanks for your time, Matt.
Absolutely.
We'll see you later for the 6 p.m. news tonight.